Hello, and welcome to the January edition of Signal Boost and our first episode of 2021. I'm your host, Callie Pruitt, Senior Strategist for Grassroots Advocacy in the APS Office of Government Affairs, and here's your science policy update. Since our last episode, our country has continued to face challenges like we've never experienced before. Many viewers of the show will know that each year the APS Office of Government Affairs hosts a Congressional Visits Day to help kick off our advocacy for the year and to fulfill our mission of disseminating the knowledge of physics, this time to lawmakers, and always in a nonpartisan way. This year, we will continue this effort as we have in years past, precisely because there are so many challenges before us that require science for their solutions. We're moving forward with the 2021 Congressional Visits Day despite everything else that is happening in Washington. And on February 2nd and 3rd, our members and staff will be meeting with the offices of members of Congress from across the political spectrum. The challenges we face demand nothing less. Regardless, APS stands firmly against the events of January 6, 2021. As our new CEO, Jonathan Bagger, wrote to our members last week, we at APS categorically condemn last week's attack on the United States Capitol, both for its assault on the fundamental institutions of US democracy and also for its distinctly white nationalist tenor. We cannot stand silent in the face of such violence. So here we are, moving forward with the hope that a brighter day is on the horizon and with the knowledge that our mission will improve the lives of those around us and enhance the fabric of the United States. And as we move forward, our team is asking you to join us. While our CVD participants will virtually be talking to staff on the Hill, we will be asking you to take action with them. So be on the lookout for a whole slate of new and updated actions on behalf of science. We'll be sure to let you know as soon as they're available. Next, following up on our November episode, we now know the layout of the new Congress. Following the dual runoff elections in Georgia earlier this month, we know that both the executive branch of the presidency and the legislative branch in total, both House and Senate, will be controlled by the Democrats. As you may recall from our last episode, APS's Office of Government Affairs, along with APS leadership, recently sent a set of recommendations to President-elect Biden and his transition team that can be implemented in the early days of the new administration. The recommendations include stimulus support for the scientific community of at least $26 billion as outlined in the RISE Act, support for international collaborations and research security to help achieve an appropriate balance between national security and the research requirements of open science, visa and immigration issues, including rescinding the proposed rule to limit the duration of stay for international students, and support for policies that will allow international students applying for an F1 visa to indicate that they would like to stay in the United States after graduation and provide them a clear path to a green card should they choose to stay and work here. Domestic workforce issues, including immediately rescinding the executive order of the previous administration regarding diversity and inclusion training, developing incentives for our top research universities to create meaningful and lasting partnerships that strengthen the research capacity at emerging research institutions, and encouraging the federal science agencies to adjust grant application requirements as appropriate to account for the current pandemic's disproportionate impact on female principal investigators. Nuclear threat reduction issues, including extending the New START treaty and ensuring there is no federal funding for a nuclear weapons test, and curbing global nuclear proliferation. And finally, climate change issues, including robust investments for basic scientific research across appropriate federal science agencies as a central component to plans to address climate change, and returning to the methane regulations established under the Obama administration. You can read the full letter on the APS website at the link in the description. As you can tell, APS and the Office of Government Affairs is ready to hit the ground running and continue our mission to be a voice for science in the coming years. And I'm glad you're joining us. That's all for this edition of Signal Boost. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you next time.